We open today's basketball hostilities live from the Escopa court in Quezon City. We begin today's action-filled day with 14 in under action as the division-leading and undefeated Antipolo JY Tyrants battle against the San Juan Mighty Warriors, who is wrapping up their campaign full of lessons to take home with them. And we continue the live coverage of the country's premier youth basketball league, the one and only Manny Pacquiao's Jr. MPBL. And for our games today, we'll be having 6 games, but the first batch being between the Antipolo JY Titans and the Makabagong San Juan Mighty Warriors. And good morning, everybody. The name is Cho Pangilinan, covering the action with Coach Noy Africa and Courtney Benaventura. Coach Noy, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Cho. And a very interesting matchup here in the 14 and under division. The Antipolo JY Titans currently undefeated and currently a lock already at the #1 position, while the San Juan team 1-8, just one victory, already eliminated. But of course, you know, if you can take down an undefeated team, why not?
That is indeed the case for San Juan and for Antipolo. But first, pag-usapan muna natin, Coach, yung undefeated team, the Antipolo JY Titans. They won against Valenzuela in their last outing.
Yeah, that was a blowout game for Antipolo JY Titans, winning that game by 30 points. Able to shoot very well from the field, 46%. And what was key for them, the ability to force turnovers, forcing 31 turnovers and scoring 37 points of those turnovers, while you know, the usual suspect Sean Malquisto will look to replicate his performance in that game. 12 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals.
And it's not really impossible for Antipolo, since again they are an undefeated team. But talking about the other guys, the Makabagong San Juan Mighty Warriors losing against the Valenzuela Junior Classics.
Yeah, ito namang San Juan, they lost big against the Valenzuela Junior Classic, 81-48. Struggled from the field, 26%. Slightly out-rebounded, 49-43. Really needs to take care of the basketball, not allow their opponents to get out in transition. Valenzuela scoring 12 fast break points, but it's going to be Jordan Vibar. Let's see if he can step up in this game. He did well against Valenzuela, 12 points and 1 rebound.
And again, that is our match for this morning. It's the undefeated team, the Antipolo JY Titans, going up against the Makabagong San Juan Mighty Warriors, 14 and under division. And that's it for now. We'll be turning it over to our venue announcer for the start of our ball game.
Of Antipolo JY Taipan and Makabagong San Juan Mighty Warriors. We are live on our official Facebook page and YouTube channel on Manny Pacquiao's Jr. MPBL. And now it's time to meet the starters, beginning with the Antipolo JY Taipans. Guard number 11, Sean Malquisto. Also guard number 20, Hans Otavilio. Also forward number 77, Zion Aguilar. Forward number 15, Zway Cruz. Playing center number 16, Travis Estrada. Head coach of Antipolo JY Taipan, Kim Chua. Assisted by Michael Romero. Team manager, Barbary Katigbak. And now it's time to meet the starters for your San Juan Mighty Warriors. Guard number 3, Jared Esquera. Also guard number 10, Hamzan Rasul. At forward number 12, Inigo Locsin. Also forward number 13, Vito Sajonera. Playing center number 6, Aaron Ramos. Head coach of San Juan Mighty Warriors, Arnel Reyes. Team manager, Dick Balahaja. Paulo Porhardo. And Asani Locsin. Our games officials for today's match, Kuchip Alan Barria, Sir Meng de Guzman, and Sir Noy Guevara. our Executive Director, Mr. J.R. Navarro, and our Junior MPBL Commissioner, Mr. Kate Picasso. Once again, this is your Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL Season 2, ang Liga na Bawat Batang Pilipino.
And our Dorite Bola ng Pinoy team starters for San Juan, we have Escuena, Rasul, Losain, Tahonera, and Ramos. For Antipolo, we have Malquisto, Ochavillo, Aguilar, Cruz, and Preston. And again, just a quick recap, the Antipolo JY Titans winning big against Valenzuela and winning against the 808 Junior Giants, Bulacan, Rizal, and Davao. And again, they have an undefeated record, good for a 9-0 record. On the other hand, Makabagong San Juan only one win this season.
Definitely for the Antipolo JY Titans, heavily favored in this game, but cannot afford to be complacent because you'll never know. That's why there's a game to be played on the court, not on paper. Antipolo just might, San Juan just might be able to pull off an upset.
And this is considering the likes of JD Wanko and Domingo are absent, and again hasn't played for most of the games this season.
But expect the other guys to step up for Antipolo. Of course, Malquisto had an excellent game in their previous outing.
Meanwhile, it's a 2-0 start for Antipolo. But Locsin will score. That's good for 3.
Again, cannot afford to be complacent, not allow those good looks.
Meanwhile, Zway Cruz will miss that lay-in. Here comes Makabagong San Juan. Ochavillo diving for the basketball. But it's with Tahonera. No good on that pull-up. They wrestle for the basketball. Ramos tried to get it back, but possession will go to the Titans.
Ramos, one of the revelations for this San Juan squad. He has been consistent from the get-go, right from the first game. He's averaging 8 points and 5 rebounds per game.
Here comes the Titans. They're down by 1. Aguilar has a basketball, but it's going to be stolen. They try to get it back. Possession will stay with the Titans.
Well, if you saw this San Juan squad in their very first few games, they were really just disjointed on offense and defense, but slowly but surely has coming to their own. But still one victory, but really development for this team has just grown leaps and bounds.
Malquisto, great fake, changing gears, but unable to make the bucket. They get it back, but Chavillo getting fouled. And indeed, a lot of weapons on the side of the JY Titans. They have Aguilar, they have Cian Coronel, they have Sean Malquisto, who are all averaging 9 points or more per game.
So even if they have some key absences in their past few games, still able to, keep their unbeaten record. Of course, Aguilar still playing with them, and Malquisto looking also to take over the offensive cudgels for the Antipolo Titans.
And who knows, JD Wanko and Domingo might go back to the playoffs. As right now they're playing for the Ateneo Blue Eagles in the UAP Juniors Division. Meanwhile, that's gonna be Ramos scoring too.
Able to operate against Cruz inside, showing the patience and the footwork.
Malquisto. Ochavillo is now at the corner. Aguilar. Back to Malquisto up top. Cruz providing the pick. Malquisto will use that pick. Try to set it inside. Ramos intercepting the lanes. But Ochavillo counter steal for Antipolo. Ochavillo to the other side. Cruz will lay it in, but that won't go. They fight for the basketball. Great hustle by Ochavillo. Malquisto has it. They have 10 seconds to work with. Aguilar will fire for 3. That is short. But they get it back. Ochavillo with a steal. Sidestep. No good on that shot.
Another rebound for Ramos. Need to take care of the basketball after those rebounds. They've been turning the ball over.
And meanwhile, Ochavillo will redeem himself with 2 points.
This is really the strength of Antipolo, trying to force those turnovers. A little too aggressive that time. Will be called for the foul, the second team foul for Antipolo.
They have a deadlock at 5 as 4 minutes passing by in chapter number 1. Meanwhile, they send it out. Esquera will fire a 3. But that is no good. They get it back. They put one up. And that's in and out for Rasul.
Let's see what Antipolo will do in the half court. They've been very effective getting out in transition.
Malquisto has a basketball. He's averaging 9 points per game. Ochavilio has it. He will attack. And no good. Cruz will get it back though. Cruz with a bump. But that's gotta get called for a traveling violation.
Somebody needs to help Ramos on the rebounding end. Not necessarily to grab the rebounds, but at least box out their man. Because a lot of offensive rebounds already very early here for Antipolo.
And actually, Aaron Ramos leading his team in points per game with 7.5. Meanwhile, Malquisto and company will get a steal. Ochavilio, butterfingers. San Juan gets the possession back. But Malquisto, another steal. What a move coming from Sean Malquisto.
So out of the 7 points of Antipolo, 4 coming from fast break points, coming off turnovers by San Juan.
Meanwhile, Pinoy step coming from Sean Malquisto once again.
It looks like the main mission right now for San Juan is to cross the basketball past half court.
Ramos, the fadeaway, he's gonna get fouled. So that's gonna be 2 freebies for him. But going back to Sean Malquisto, usually he doesn't start for Antipolo. As we take another look at this move by the same guy I mentioned. Again, he doesn't start for Antipolo, but this game looks like he has the green light to make things happen.
And he is making things happen not only on the offensive end, but also on the defensive end. Already a couple of steals for Antipolo.
And I'm not seeing an Eman Simple at the Antipolo bench. So who knows, again, that might mean more responsibility for the big guys of Antipolo. And the perfect time is this game, as that'll be a freebie sank.
So far in the first quarter, San Juan has been able to hang around.
Corner 3, that's no good. Ramos trying to fight for the board. But it's out of bounds. Possession will stay with Antipolo. Or rather, it's going to go with the red shirts. So that was a great box out coming from Ramos. But they immediately turned the ball over.
That's a problem when you're being pressured once you cross half court. You have the tendency to rush things. Could have just waited a little bit for that offense to be set up.
Antipolo within 2. Malquisto inside. Ordan puts one up. That's too much. San Juan on the break. Ordan able to swipe the ball away, but possession will still stay with the Mighty Warriors.
19 seconds on the shot clock.
For San Juan can't afford to play into the hands of the Antipolo defense. They're being forced to rush their shots.
Meanwhile, another steal by the same guy, Sean Malquisto, escaping for 2.
Sean Malquisto making a living out of the points off turnovers, getting a steal and getting layups on the other end.
Meanwhile, Makabagong San Juan having difficulties. No good for Aaron Ramos.
It's almost one shot attempt per possession for San Juan.
Malquisto, the ball is in his hands once again. The pick from Ordan. Aguilar thought about the 3, will attack instead. Good at the floater from Zion Aguilar.
Very difficult shot to defend for San Juan.
Meanwhile, another steal, but that's no good for Aguilar. San Miguel tried to put it back, but that's no good. Ordan, one more try, it's good.
On the one end, Antipolo just pounding the paint. No one except Ramos there to protect.
Ramos playing an all-around position for San Juan. Still no good for them. Rebound by Ordan, but he's gonna get called for a foul.
That's usually the tendency for players who do not get good position for rebounds. They push off.
Meanwhile, Esguerra has it outside. Ramos outside as well. They try for a three, and that's good.
When they execute patiently on the offense, San Juan has been getting some good shots. Another three for them.
Antipolo circulating the ball in offense. And no good on that corner three. Rebound by Ramos. They almost lose it once again. But they still have it. Esguerra will fade away. No good.
Another rush shot for San Juan. 20 seconds remaining in the first. 1 and 20 remaining.
Meanwhile, what a move coming from San Miguel.
Just easy pickings inside so far for Antipolo.
Over a minute remaining in Chapter 1. Ramos having difficulties. Las Marinas getting the steal. The bump. He lost it. But last touch on Cruz.
Really a tough task right now for Ramos. He's doing everything on the floor. He's the top rebounder and he's pretty much the one deciding on how they break the press.
And they are talking about Aaron Ramos. He's averaging close to 6 rebounds per game. And that's a breakaway coming from Cruz.
It's 5 points now for Cruz. Hit the 3 earlier.
Obanya, the pick from Mordan. Floater no good. Great defense from Ramos. And he gets it on the other side. No good coming from Aaron. Meanwhile, great pass inside. San Miguel, that's good on the floater.
Tough shot, but still 2 points. Back-to-back baskets for Enzo San Miguel.
7-point lead for Antipolo. They have 13 seconds remaining in Chapter 1. And they're able to get the possession once again. San Miguel, high pass. Miscommunication that time. 3 seconds remaining. Ramos, pass it last minute. Cruz, that's good. For the buzzer-beating three-pointer. That's the lead of Antipolo to just 4, but they're still in the lead. 19-15 as we'll end our first period. And we'll return for the start of the second chapter. Once again, this is Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL.
You're still watching Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL Season 2, ang liga ng bawat batang Pilipino. With a winning streak from the beginning, assistant coach Oliver Marquez of the JY Titans together with head coach Kim Chua have seen so much improvement all throughout the season. Base pa sa kanya, lahat ng ginagawang play ni Coach Kim sa bawat naging laro nila ay pinag-isa, pinagsama-sama at ito ang i-apply nila ngayong laro. Their goal is to continue the record they have pasok ng playoffs. They know that hard work pays off. Coach Choi?
Thank you very much, Courtney, for that report. And indeed, the development of this Antipolo squad is really phenomenal. Again, they're kids, and you know, they went through a lot. I was able to witness them even actually before Season 2 started. I know the players personally, and I really can say that they have indeed developed a lot. The levels to it is, you know, beyond imaginable.
Well, if an undefeated record is an indication, definitely development has been leaps and bounds for this Antipolo squad.
And also they had a few reinforcements. Talking about first, this guy, Zion Aguilar, just tapped the ball away. Played for Malabon during that Season 1 and now playing for Antipolo. And again, they have the likes of Domingo, J.D. Wanko, who played for the first few games. And Eman Siple as well, but is not present this game. But that time it's Zion Aguilar escaping for 2.
Well, during the quarter break, the Antipolo coaching staff was not really happy because they allowed this San Juan team to hang around the game. And right now, I think they're gonna keep on putting the pressure. Just need to be focused all game long because those lapses are allowing San Juan to get baskets.
And you know, that's the indicator of a team that wants to win the championship. They hold themselves to high standards. They don't want a team like San Juan to be hanging around with them even during the first quarter.
You have to hold everyone accountable regardless of who they're playing. This may be a 1-8 team, but they have nothing to lose, and that's a scary proposition for any unbeaten teams because, you know, they're just gonna keep playing on the floor. They're just going to leave everything on the floor. This is their last game for season 2 of Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL, and what better way to come out of the season but with a victory over an undefeated team.
And indeed, a team, again, like what you said, has nothing to lose. But Antipolo has everything to lose. At that time, it's going to be out of bounds. 9 seconds left to shoot for San Juan. Centeno for 3. Aaron Ramos putting it back in.
Just doing the heavy lifting right now for San Juan. It seems like it's a one-man team, especially protecting the paint and getting those rebounds.
Meanwhile, Barcelona, first bucket of the game for him. 5-point lead for Antipolo. San Juan on a rush. And Zway Cruz getting called for the foul.
Almost got away with a Pinoy step, but pretty much walked into the defense of Cruz. Gets bailed out with a foul.
So no free throws, only a blocking foul. Meanwhile, it's headed inside. Great steal by Las Marias. Zway Cruz, forward pass to Obania. Another fast break opportunity for Antipolo, but that's no good.
Right now, Antipolo not looking to mess around anymore, just pounding it inside the paint, driving at every opportunity.
Obana. 2 free throws for him. Antipolo up by 5. First one is no good. 7:13 remaining in chapter number 2. Second one on its way for Obana. One out of 2 for Tyler Obana. Centeno brings it down. 6-point lead for the Titans. Aaron Ramos the spin, puts one up, and that's going to be another foul. Third team foul already of Antipolo.
Right now, Aaron Ramos looking to take on the entire Antipolo front line, getting to the free throw line. Interesting for Antipolo. They've been trying to get their baskets inside, and yet they're only shooting 38% from the field, 12 out of 26 from the 2-point region. So, you know, despite being able to force 14 turnovers already on San Juan, really need to get better shots inside.
And Antipolo, the 1400 division team, leading as a team in points per game in this season number 2 so far with 77.5. Meanwhile, basket and one for the big guys, Zway Cruz.
So whenever they stayed patient, Antipolo will get these kinds of baskets. Really a lean front line for San Juan should be able to get buckets inside easily.
That's a pound-for-pound fitness foul counted move. A chance to make it a 3-point play, and more importantly, a chance to put them up by 9. And Zway Cruz on the line. He completes it.
San Juan front line got even leaner as Ramos will go to the bench.
San Juan, they're 1 point away from having a double-digit deficit. Meanwhile, Aguilar will attack. What a pass, what a find. That's going to be a sorry miss coming from Sobrevilla. They get it back, though. And great move coming from Malquisto, but he's unable to finish it. 2 free throws coming up for him.
The fouls are starting to pile up for San Juan. The third team foul for them.
And talking about Antipolo, they're third in fast break points per game this season so far with 22.5. And it's no surprise considering what we've seen during that first period.
Well, that is the game plan for Antipolo, and it has been an effective formula for them as they remain undefeated.
Meanwhile, that's no good from Sean Malquisto. But Antipolo gets it back. Great hustle from Sobrevilla. Malquisto finds Barcelona, but that's no good. Barcelona gets it back. And what hustle coming from Barcelona.
Smaller front line for San Juan. Easier opportunities right now for Antipolo.
Meanwhile, that's another fast break bucket for Malquisto and company.
12 fast break points already for Antipolo, and they're ahead by 14.
And again, that's the game plan. They want to bury their opponents as early as possible. And the Makabagong San Juan Mighty Warriors will call a timeout right here. This is brought to you by Nature Spring.
Sa kabila ng kaba na nararamdaman ni Aaron Ramos going against JY Titans, he would not let that get the best of him and would continue to trust their coaches and teammates. Nothing, even a winning streak from his opponent, would stop him from showing his skills. Coach Noy?
Thank you very much, Courtney, for that report. And indeed, facing against a Antipolo team, an undefeated team in general, is no easy feat. But you gotta love the confidence from Aaron, even though he's nervous. 14-point lead for the Titans. They have the basketball. Barcelona, the bump, puts one up. Still no good. Another one, 4 points. 4-point swing rather for Miguel Barcelona. And the full court pressure being implemented by the Titans. Meanwhile, that's gonna be a foul. I believe called on Sobrevilla. The possession will stay with the Mighty Warriors. It's now a 16-point lead for them as we're nearing the 5-minute mark of Chapter 2.
So far, Antipolo has made this run when Ramos went to the bench for San Juan.
Meanwhile, the Antipolo press working once again as Aguilar will escape for two. He makes it 18.
Right now, it's fast becoming what seems to be a layup drill for Antipolo. It has just been turnover after turnover for San Juan.
And what hustle coming from Barcelona, but Centeno gets it back. Malquisto try to swipe it. Meanwhile, three-pointer, no good. So Brevilla, another hustle play. You gotta love the instincts coming from this Antipolo squad. Malquisto forward pass. Aguilar, inside pass. Barcelona almost lost it, puts one up. Big boy moves for Miguel Barcelona.
Had to get that off against two defenders, but Barcelona, as he said, just being a big boy inside.
And we're now officially at the 20-point mark, talking about the lead of Antipolo. They have no more fouls to give though, as Malquisto directing the offense. To the other side, Aguilar will fire for three. Kaboom!
First made three for Antipolo after missing their first 5 shots. As San Juan will make a platoon swap for players coming in.
Let's take another look on that Zion Aguilar three-point bomb to put them up by 23. And they're not slowing down anytime soon. Malquisto uses the pick from Barcelona. He sends it out. So Brevilla chooses to attack. He finds an opening, but that's no good. And great defense from Ramos. But there's going to be an offensive foul called on Zway Cruz.
At that time trying to play bully ball with Ramos, and it's gonna take excessive force to be able to move a guy like Ramos. And Cruz will have to check out with 3 fouls.
Again, 23-point lead on the side of the Titans. And they're still implementing that Antipolo press. Ramos almost losing it, continues to do so. Barcelona puts one up, that's no good. He gets it back, he dives for it, and picked up still by the Titans. But that's gonna be a steal coming from Cruz. Helter-skelter basketball right here. But San Juan able to cross half court. Esquer asking for it. He will fire for three, and that's money.
San Juan has been shooting an excellent rate from the three-point area. 5 out of 9 for them so far.
But still, they're down by 20. As Malquisto sends it out.
Unfortunately.
That is, I hate to break the bad news.
Yeah.
But Malquisto, that's more bad news for them.
I say something good, you give them bad news.
As we have under 2 minutes remaining in our second period.
Ramos looks gassed already. I mean, whatever stat line he ends up with, please don't mind the turnover numbers because he is the one they're making him make the decisions in that pressure defense. Ramos currently with 3 turnovers for San Juan.
So Cruz will bring out the basketball. And again, Antipolo still implementing that Titan press. Malquisto trying to get a hold of the leather. He was able to swipe it, but it stays with San Juan. Rasul using a pick. Oh, will not use the pick. But that's going to be stolen by Sean Malquisto. And another day in the office for the Titans.
Right now, the Antipolo defense seems to be a step ahead of San Juan. They know exactly where those passes are going to go, and they've been doing a good job reading those passing lanes.
Cruz, no good on that shot. Barcelona taps it away, and possession will stay with the Mighty Warriors.
Already 19 steals for Antipolo, forcing 22 turnovers. Another easy layup for Malquisto.
Again, they're top 3 in fast break points per game this season, talking about Antipolo. That's the reason why. The 2 free throws will be given to Aaron Ramos as they're down by 24. First one is no good.
Well, I really hope Aaron Ramos will still grow. I mean, a couple of inches because he's very comfortable operating inside the paint. But the problem is if he moves up and the height doesn't change, he needs to change his game and learn to play the wing.
Well, we've been seeing him position himself outside, so it's not impossible.
Yeah, but he is really way better operating inside. As you can see, even against a taller front line of the Antipolo, gets the rebound and able to play bully ball.
It also doesn't help that he's one of the biggest guys in this San Juan roster. Talking about him, he gets the rebound. And that's going to be 2 more free throws for Aaron Ramos.
I mean, any coach who is watching this San Juan team will like the game of Aaron Ramos, but the worry is if he will still grow taller because he's just very effective inside the paint, even if he's an undersized big.
And again, Aaron Ramos averaging close to 7.5 points per game, 5.5 rebounds per game.
And he has already surpassed those numbers in the first half, 8 points and 8 rebounds.
They seem to have that green light as well. And again, is one of the biggest players in the San Juan roster. He'll go 1 out of 2. That's going to be a violation for Antipolo. So that'll mean 1 more freebie for Ramos, as he has 9 rebounds already before we end our first half. So on a 21-point lead now for Antipolo. Obana against Rasul. He escapes his defender. Great passing by Antipolo. Ochavillo, no good from that 3. That's 5 seconds remaining. High pass. Antipolo gets the steal. But that'll be it for our first half. It's 47-26, a 21-point deficit in favor of the Antipolo JY Titans. As we'll return for the start of our second half. And once again, this is Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL.
I am joined here by Coach Kim Chua of the JY Titans. Coach, young athletes can be really tough. Kahit isang laro lang, their confidence can go easily. How do you boost their morale?
Siguro yun nga, yung lagi kong sinasabi sa kanila na huwag magpapabaya every single game, no? Tapos, walang magre-relax kasi even malakas o mahina o average yung kalaban, kailangan 100% lagi kami. Yun lang naman.
Would you like to greet and thank anyone, Coach?
Yun, no? Nagpapasalamat ako kay Boss Rafi, kay Boss JY, sa buong Antipolo community, no? Tapos binabati ko nga pala sila Coach Carl, Coach Michael, Coach Oliver, Coach Terry, tsaka sa wife ko, tsaka si Maki and Arish, no? Binabati ko kayo dyan.
Thank you very much, Coach, for joining me. Back to you, Cho and Coach Noy.
Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL
would like to thank Dorite Bola ng Pinoy, the first Pinoy basketball brand, Don Benitos, ang pambansang cassava, Nature Spring, #1 bottled water in the Philippines, pound for pound fitness, Be Ligaretti, Jinky Skin, empowering women by redefining beauty, Pound Active, for quality sportswear.
Red Dynasty, offering comfort Chinese food and overall 5-star experience. Winford Resort and Casino Manila, a luxury integrated resort.
Wing Bowl, it's like coming home. Chris Jacob Collection, for affordable but quality daily perfumes.
Special thanks to Punong Barangay Danilo Villanueva of Barangay Escopa 3 for hosting today's game.
Taas noo kahit kanino, walang ibang sinisigaw ang masang Pilipino. Bumagsak, bumangon, hinarap ang mga hamon, hanggang ang kahirapan tuluyan nating matalo.
And at the half, it's 47-26, a 21-point gap. The Antipolo JY Titans still in the driver's seat of not just a car, but a bus. And right now, we're waiting for the start of our second half. And so far, leading the charge for the Antipolo Titans is, to no one's surprise, Sean Malquisto and Zion Aguilar with 13 apiece. And we're looking at the halftime stats. It's, again,
Well, you can see the Titans currently 42% from the field, 39% for Makabagong San Juan. San Juan has been able to somehow keep in step in that first quarter because of the three-point shooting. 5 out of 9, only 1 out of 8 for the Titans. Rebounding, as expected, would go the side of the Titans being the taller team. But really the problem for Makabagong San Juan is to take care of the basketball. 23 turnovers already, which has been translated into 16 fast break points for Antipolo. So if they won't be able to take care of the basketball, it's really going to be a big problem for the Warriors.
And right now, we're just waiting for the start of our second half. And there we go, the buzzer being pressed. And Aaron Ramos, talking about that guy, 9 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 dimes, has been the lone bright spot, at least one of the lone bright spots on the side of the San Juan Makabagong Mighty Warriors.
Well, for Ramos, as you said already, 9 points in the game, 8 for Cruz, but they're gonna need a lot more help. Well, for the other side, for Antipolo, already 2 players in double digits with 13, Aguilar and Malquisto, with Barcelona already with 8 points.
Right now, a different starting 5 for the second half for Antipolo. Meanwhile, there are no Aaron Ramos for San Juan. First possession of the third belonging to the Titans. And they're not wasting any time. Quick to execute a play. Chavillo, sorry miss. Ordan gets it back. Great find. That's 2 points for Travis Estrada.
Ordan may not be the tallest player, but he knows how to position himself well, getting the rebound and passing it off to a teammate.
Meanwhile, into San Miguel getting called for a traveling violation. Javier will lose the basketball. Chavillo will lay it up and in.
Starting the quarter pretty much how they ended it in the first half, putting really increased ball pressure on San Juan.
Lead is now at 25 for Antipolo, and they're looking to increase it even more. Meanwhile, a minute passing by in chapter number 3. Esquera triggers the inbound. And that's going to be another turnover. Great defense from Chavillo, and that's 2 more points for him.
Well, I feel like we're almost on repeat here with the way they're just forcing the turnovers and just scoring in transition.
I mean, in the long run, this kind of a tryout to see who can deliver outside the usual guys, especially in the playoffs. They're going to be facing much stronger teams, and players have to be an X factor. We'll talk about that more after this major spring timeout by San Juan, as they're down now by 27, rather by 29. As we take another look at this, one of many fast break buckets coming from Chavillo and company. Again, we'll return for more action. .9 lead for the Antipolo JY Tyrants. Rather, it's 31 already. Meanwhile, they get it back. Another steal for them. 2 minutes passing by. Chavillo, great fake. What a move, what a pass. And what a finish coming from Jason Ordan.
Again, not the tallest of players, but very comfortable operating in the paint.
And at this point, the Titans just having fun with it. As we take another look again, Chavillo, crazy move, and then Ordan. I mean, what do you call that move? The hook shot, turnaround hook. Whatever it is, it's 2 points.
One motion from the catch.
Right now, it's a 33-point lead for Antipolo. Again, this is This is like a tryout to see who Coach Kim Chua can insert and expect outbursts from, especially come in the playoffs. Meanwhile, Las Marias, great hustle, and we'll put that one in off the putback.
Despite getting blocked, just continuing to be resilient, able to score off Ramos.
And indeed, the attitude you want. Trafilo, that's a three from deep in the corners.
And it's not for lack of trying for Ramos. Was able to close out well, just better offense for Antipolo.
Looks like bench depth won't be a problem for the Titans. And so far, again, it's not the usual guys creating for them, but they'll take it anyway. Meanwhile, it's with San Juan. 4 minutes passing by in Chapter 3. Antipolo with a very commanding lead right here. San Juan, another turnover for them.
What you like about Antipolo, they know that they have the advantage, manpower advantage, skill advantage, cohesion advantage, but they are not letting up, mainly because they're showing respect to their opponents.
Into San Miguel, overcooks that shot. There's gonna be a foul on Jason Ordan.
Because some people watching would say that you can ease off a little bit because obviously it's a huge advantage already. 38 points. You can ease off a little bit, not put pressure on the backcourt, but you want to have the good habits and you just want to play the same way that you'd play any other team.
Meanwhile, that's no good. As San Juan now, rather Antipolo having this possession. Malquisto in the game once again. Has 13. Aguilar will attack. Great find to Zway Cruz. No good, gets it back. The bump against Ramos. A big boy to big boy, but Zway Cruz finding a way.
That time the bigger boy winning out. Cruz able to get another basket. That's 5 for him already.
Great hustle from the same guy, Zway Cruz. Aguilar brings it down. Changing gears is Zion Aguilar.
In the open court, Aguilar just really very dangerous already. 15 points in the game.
And now we'll be turning it over to Courtney Benaventura for a report.
Time management, yan ang sagot sa magandang performance na patuloy pinapakita ni Sean Malquisto sa bawat laro. Madalas na pagkatapos ng klase, he starts training with his teammates. According to him, the comeback is real. Mula sa pagkatalo last season, look at where they are now. Him and his teammates are proud of how far they've come. Cho, Coach Noy?
Thank you very much, Courtney, for that report. And talking about that guy, Sean Malquisto, averaging close to 10 points per game, 2.5 rebounds and 3 dimes. And again, usually doesn't start for Antipolo, but this game, he's making wonders for them.
That time he was the one who threw that outlet pass for Aguilar.
And right now, Malquisto having 5 assists in this game, the most for the Titans. Also has 13. Meanwhile, that's no good from Obana. They get it back. They fire for a 3. Rims out.
That has been the only negative for the Antipolo JY Titans. 3 out of 11 from the 3-point area, 27%.
But again, they don't need 3-point shooting.
Yeah, exactly.
They get, most of their points from the fast break.
Already 60 points in the paint for Antipolo. So it's just really something that you want to be able to hit from the outside for Antipolo. So 60 out of their 70 points coming from inside the paint.
Yes, that's 90% of their output. Talking about points in the paint per game, Antipolo is second in the 1400 division. They're averaging close to 54 points per game in the paint as a team. But now they have 60, so they're above their average. They're looking to add more.
That's pretty much why they're trying to hit from the outside, because come the playoffs, can't just be all about points in the paint, although they're doing a really good job at it. I mean, eventually in the playoffs, teams will force you to hit from the outside to open up the interior.
I mean, based on their past games, at least personally, I believe that's not going to be a problem for Antipolo. But talking about defense, that's no problem for them as well. They're averaging 15.5 steals per game, the 5th best in this 14 and under division. This time Fajardo will shoot from the line. It's no good. Meanwhile, the Titans as well having a field goal percentage of 45.5. The best in this league.
Again, Antipolo is already a lock at number 1, currently at 9-0. Rizal Switch Fiber at 9-1, but Antipolo already defeated Rizal Switch Fiber. So even if they ended up losing this game, they're still gonna finish at number 1.
But looks like they don't want to lose. As Ramos, no good in that coast-to-coast sequence. Another try. Still not falling for him. Aguilar against 2 defenders will finish.
Just too good. Aguilar, despite 2 defenders on him, still scoring.
Obana getting the board. Forward pass. Exactly goes to Malquisto, but he fumbles that shot. So the Titans still going hard in this competition as we have under 2 minutes remaining in the third. Let's take another look. Is Zion Aguilar finish against 2 red shirts? Gotta love the confidence. And again, for sure, he'll have a target on his back come the playoffs. And first one is no good for Locsin. And actually, the Antipolo Titans having a 3-point percentage average of 28.5, the 3rd best in this 1400 division. So safe to say they can shoot the 3. Meanwhile, Locsin, speaking of shooting the 3, will knock down that 3 ball.
Ramos on the floor for San Juan. That's 6 out of 11 from the 3-point area. Very good percentage, but just not getting enough good looks to be able to make a game out of this. Because if you look at the field goal attempts for both teams, San Juan only 30 field goal attempts, Antipolo 73, so that's more than double.
Let's take another look what exactly happened. So 3 Titans were swarming on Aaron Ramos. It seems to have gotten hit by Ochovillo, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, or rather it's Dane Obana hitting him.
I don't think it was intentional though, making a play for the basketball.
Possession will go to the Antipolo JY Titans, and Aaron Ramos will take a breather. .5-point lead for the Titans as they have another chance to increase it. .134 remaining in quarter number 3. Obana brings it down. He's with Sobrevilla, Surita, San Miguel, and Malquisto. Meanwhile, that's good for the 3 coming from Sobrevilla.
Everyone checking in for Antipolo, just continuing to contribute.
38-point lead for them right now as they're on the verge of scoring actually 20 points perhaps in the 4th, making it hopefully 100 points. And that'll be a statement game for them if ever they do. Centeno, no good on that 3 ball. Under a minute remaining in chapter 3. Antipolo with a very commanding lead, a very comfortable cushion. Malquisto still going hard and still scoring. He has 15. 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 dimes for Sean Malquisto. Leading in all major statistical categories, at least for this game.
Right now for Antipolo, the bench has also come to play already. 22 points coming from the bench.
And again, bench depth isn't a problem either for the Antipolo Titans. As Rasul will go to the line for 2 freebies. 28 seconds remaining in the third. Second one is good for Hamdan Rasul. And that's a violation called on the Titans. Rather an offensive foul, an illegal pick called on Surita. So a final shot opportunity on the side of San Juan.
Just total domination in the third quarter for Antipolo. 34 points for them, limiting San Juan to just 6.
Meanwhile, good from 3. That's Tajonera. Last 6 seconds. Send it out, so Brevilla will attack. He puts one up. That's no good. That'll be it for our first 3 quarters, 81-35. Again, a very commanding, comfortable lead on the side of the undefeated team, the Antipolo JY Titans. And we'll return for the start of our 4th and final period. Once again, this is your one and only Manny Pacquiao Jr. MPBL.
Liga ng bayan na to, mga kabataan na sugod, Junior MPBL para sa'yo, ang liga.
(81-35) as the Antipolo JY Titans with a 46-point lead. And we enter the 4th period. First possession belonging to the San Juan Mighty Warriors. And so far leading the charge for the JY Titans, it's Aguilar with 21.
So did you just pull out your calculator?
I did. It's that big. The lead of Antipolo is so big I had to pull out my calculator. That's that 3 sacked by Cruz.
So again, the threes, very impressive clip for San Juan, 8 out of 14.
Meanwhile, Aguilar unable to answer back. But again, they don't have to. Barcelona no good. Out of bounds, possession will go to the Mighty Warriors. And the Antipolo press being implemented once again by Coach Kim Chua. Aguilar bothering. They almost get it. Cruz crosses half court. Set it to the other side. Centeno. Drop pass. Good at that mid-range jumper coming from Santi Javier.
And so far for San Juan, whenever they've gotten shots, they've been able to convert at a decent rate. 13 out of 36 from the 3-point area. Oh,
what a move. Dipsy-do coming from Las Marias.
on the 3-point area, 57%. So they're shooting way better from the 3-point area than from the field, from the 2-point area, even from the free throw line. So maybe they should just keep on taking threes at this point.
Perhaps, practice that area of the game, because that's the only thing they haven't done well, at least for this game. Let's take another look on this Dipsy-do finish coming from Gab Las Marias. Meanwhile, the same guy has a basketball, sends it to Ochavillo. He decides to take a three, and that's money.
That's really something that they need to keep on working on. be very consistent. They're going to be near unbeatable. Well, they have been unbeatable so far in the elimination round. But being able to hit the 3 ball, force teams to have to space that floor, allow their slashers to get opportunities with open driving lanes.
45-point lead for them right now. 2 minutes passing by in Chapter 4. Meanwhile, Ordan will go back to the bench, and replacing him will be Travis Estrada, another big guy, big, tall, lanky guy for Antipolo. So they have the whole package basically. They have front court guys who are tall enough, big enough to defend the paint, and they have elite guards who can swipe the basketball away, get steals, and score as well.
And we get to say this even without their main guys. Wanko, you don't have Ngo available for them. And yet, there seems to be no problems, no, what do you call this? There's a lack of nothing almost with the way this team has been built.
That's to simply put it. But, you know, even though without JD Wanko and Domingo, regularly Sean Malquisto comes off the bench. So what more if JD Wanko and Domingo plays on a regular basis? But that conversation is for another day, as we'll see this fast break opportunity once again for Antipolo. Barcelona getting fouled by Aaron Ramos. And so far, Barcelona with 6 rebounds and 8 points in this ball game, a chance to put himself with double figures.
Although we've been talking about Antipolo dominating the North Division, but come the playoffs, eventually, if they make it all the way to the national finals, they'll have to contend with some good teams also on the side of the South Division. Las Piñas and Binyan teams finishing 10-1 on the other side. But actually, also, I think the playoff bracket here for the North Division has been set. The top 8 teams already set. So it's going to be Antipolo going up against Davao in the first round. And Rizal versus JT Bulacan Taipan. Marikina will take on Mandaluyong. Quezon City will take on Manila Health Forum.
Great topic right there, Coach Noy. I'd like to see, if ever Antipolo does reach the finals, I'd like to see a Binyan versus Antipolo matchup in the finals. Imagine Angelo Arzola against Zion Aguilar.
Oh yeah, that's going to be interesting. But I feel like the Antipolo JY Titans have the deeper bench. But, you know, can't discount the Binyan Tatak Gel, and especially having one of the better players in the 14 and under division in Angelo Arzola.
Don't forget the likes of Benedict Solas and Kendrick Picazo on that team. So that's going to be fun to watch if ever that does happen.
Then you've got the Las Piñas squad and Sam Isomchi, the big man monster.
Exactly.
Averaging 20 points and 16 rebounds.
And that's going to be a tough matchup for Eman Simple. If ever again they do face at some point, again, or rather at the finals.
Now we're just looking ahead and getting excited about the possible matchups.
Meanwhile, we take a look at this opportunity from San Juan as they keep on missing. But right now, Aaron Ramos just 1 point away from double figures. And he's nearing a double-double as well, but that's no good for him. And another day in the office for Zion Aguilar.
So it has been a 3-headed monster for Antipolo here. Zion Aguilar, 23 points. Ochavillo with 19. And then you've got Malquisto with 15.
And what else could you do against this Antipolo squad?
Well,
Nothing you could do.
I think that's going to be the last that will see Aguilar and Malquisto.
You gotta give credit to Coach Kim Chua for, you know, giving his other troopers chances to show what they can do. And again, that'll be important come the playoffs. Obviously, the likes of Malquisto, Aguilar, they will have targets on their backs. Teams will know that they're the ones to watch out for, and other guys will have to step up when that happens.
well, when you stay undefeated in the elimination round, you're gonna put a massive target on your back. So everyone will be coming for the Antipolo JY Titans, and the first team who will get a crack at this in the playoffs, the Davao King Thorns, although they're gonna be playing with a twice to beat disadvantage. Actually, just looking at the stats right now, there's one player with a double-double for Antipolo JY Titans. Ochavillo, 21 points and 10 steals.
A rare double-double with one stat being steals. At least for the 14 and under division, I believe that's rare.
I believe that's rare everywhere.
And right now, it's a 50-point lead for the Antipolo JY Titans. Again, I was right. They're on the verge of scoring 100 points. And with the way they're playing, I'm sure that's far from impossible. But talking about their first round matchups, the Davao King Thorns will be facing the likes of Santino Miguel Tison, Sam Dylan Paras, both averaging more than 8 points per game. Definitely a tough matchup for them. But again, they are undefeated for a reason. Aaron Ramos finally in double figures.
So a double-double, the second player with a double-double in this game.
Take another look at this pound-for-pound fitness foul counted move. Aaron Ramos going to work. And a lot of potential for this kid. Sky's the limit.
11, 15, and 11 points and 15 rebounds so far for Ramos.
And again, if any team is watching this, any high school team, I'm sure he's up for grabs if he's not playing anywhere.
Give him like a couple of inches, he's going to be a good player, especially if he gets to keep playing inside the paint.
Definitely not impossible. I mean, he is playing for San Juan, one of the more sports-oriented programs in our junior MPBL league. And their 21 and under counterparts will play later. The Batang San Juan Knights. So make sure to stay tuned for our lone D-League game, 21 and under division, our last game for the day. You can watch us live in the junior MPBL Facebook page.
That's going to be exciting too. Two undefeated teams, San Juan 3-0 and Rizal 1-0. So do stay tuned for that. Do stay tuned for the whole day because you're gonna hear the same voices all day.
Right now, and one opportunity, a rather three-point play opportunity for Aaron Ramos.
So just a quick recap. The last time Antipolo faced Davao, they won that game by 34 points. So heavily favored Antipolo. But again, the playoffs is a different story. Opportunity for Davao to redeem themselves.
And we just have under 4 minutes remaining in chapter number 4. I think safe to say, before even the fourth quarter started, this team belonged to the Antipolo JY Titans.
What you like about Antipolo, after dilly-dallying in that first quarter, only finishing that quarter ahead by 4, they've managed to just hold off San Juan, limiting their looks except here in the fourth quarter.
Talking about the next game, stay tuned for that. It's going to be 16 and under division, still between the same teams. But now it's a team that has a 7-2 record versus a team that has 6-3. So they're pretty close in the standings.
Antipolo number 3, San Juan at number 4. And an opportunity for Antipolo with a victory to go as high up as number 2, while for San Juan, a win would allow them to move up a bit, finish at number 3.
So different stakes for the next game. But on the 1800 division, the San Juan Mighty Warriors 8-1, going up against Antipolo Titans, who have a respectable record of 6-3.
Well, in the 18 under for Antipolo, a must-win for them. A win for them will lock that fourth position for them. If they lose that game, they will be forced into a triple tie with Mandaluyong and Marikina. So you do not want, to move up or down the standings, mainly because, without having to play a game on the court, having to rely on the quotient system. While for San Juan, a win will make them a lock at number 1. But if they lose, they will fall to number 2 with JT Bulacan Taipan getting the top spot in the North Division of the 18 under.
So definitely a lot of high-stakes games in store for everybody today. In store for the junior MPBL fans. So again, stay tuned. You can watch us live here in Escopa 3 covered court. The biggest city in the Philippines, Quezon City. And as well, if you cannot make it to our venue, you can watch us live on our Facebook page at Junior MPBL. And even our Muntinlupa versus Leyte games, they're pretty much good. Muntinlupa 18 and under division has a record of 5-5. Meanwhile, their opponents 7-3 for the UST Tiger Cubs as well. Right now, a minute and 30 remaining, and Antipolo over that 100-point mark. Perhaps a statement game, showing to the rest of the league that not only are they the #1 team, they actually have a chance, more than a chance, to win the championship. And our next game will start at 11:10 a.m., so better stay tuned to that.
So the next order of business for us, Joe, as Antipolo has doubled the score of San Juan. 106 to 53, a 53-point advantage. The next order of business, who do we choose as the best player for Antipolo? Total team effort for them. Aguilar will finish with 23, Ochavillo with 21, and Malquisto with 19. So just imagine a team with almost 3 players scoring over 20 points. How do you defeat a team like that?
Good thing that's not my problem. But it's your problem, but I'm sure whoever you pick, you won't be wrong with your choice. Everybody definitely did their dirty work. Everybody brought something to the table. But if you're gonna make me choose, I'm gonna choose that guy who had 10 steals, Hans Ochavillo.
Well, actually, I could close my eyes and just point at a name in that roster, and I'll be able to justify why I pick him, because everyone coming into the game for Antipolo just came ready to play. Regardless of, they came in late into the game, they started the game. That's exactly what you want for Antipolo, to continue to play the right way, regardless of the score, regardless of who you're playing with, because come the playoffs, everything will become a grind.
Exactly. I mean, you could even argue to give it to Dane Obano, who had 5 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. But I'm sure you won't pick him. Because again, at least for me, I'll give it to the guy who has 10 steals, which is definitely rare everywhere, just like what you said. 24 seconds remaining. Antipolo just burning the clock, but Jason Ordan wanting to score more. But I'm sure that's no issue. So that's it. Antipolo gaining this win. So that's 10-0 record for them. Undefeated run in the regular season of the junior MPBL regular season, yeah. 109 to 53, that is it for our game. To simply put it, just a dominating performance for the Antipolo JY Titans. For San Juan.
After a close game in that first quarter, Antipolo just really, after a bit of tongue lashing from the coaching staff, came out better in the second quarter and just pulled away from there.
And for San Juan, still props to these kids for showing up, for still doing their best. And again, you don't lose, you only win, and you only learn. So So that is it for our game. Antipolo escaping with a very dominating, comfortable victory that puts them up number 1, still number 1, and with a 10-0 record. And we're just waiting for our player of the game, presented to you by Don Benito's ang Pambansang Kasava. Again, 2 players scoring more than 20, 1 player scoring 19. But right now, we're just waiting for our player of the game for his availability. And now we will turn it over to Courtney Buenaventura to introduce to us our Don Benito's player of the game.
Kayo nagiging united as a team.
Salamat po sa tiwala sa mga coaches, lalo na po kay Coach Kim and Coach Mike. Lahat po ng coaches ng Antipolo JY Titans. Tsaka po kay Boss JY. Tsaka po sa nag-aalaga po sa amin sa dorm kay Sir Armando de Guzman po. Maraming salamat po.
May mga gusto ka bang pasalamatan at batiin?
Magpapasalamat po ako sa mama at
Thank you, Hans, and congratulations once again. We would also like to thank Don Benito's for providing us a sumptuous Filipino delicacy. Don Benito's ang Pambansang Kasava. Coach Noy?
Thank you very much, Courtney. Again, our player of the game, Hans Ochovilio. Again, not the regular guy that makes a noise for Antipolo, but showing what he can do, and perhaps will get that crucial minutes come the playoffs. Congratulations to the Antipolo JY Titans. But for our next game, 16 and under division coming your way, still between the Antipolo JY Titans and the Makabagong San Juan Mighty Warriors. And once again, this was Sean Pangilinan, Coach Noy Africa, and Courtney Buenaventura, and this is Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL.
Liga ng bayan na to, mga kabataan na sugod, Junior MPBL para sa'yo, ang liga ng bawat batang Pilipino. Liga ng bayan na to, klaro na to, huwag kang sumuko sa gustong gawin, isang pangarap, isang tagumpay, gabay at pag-asa ng bayan, landas pagbabago, pag-asa, ikaw ang mahalaga. Iba't iba, pero isang halaga, nagkakaisa, nagmamahalan,
Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL
Would like to thank Dorite Bola ng Pinoy, the first Pinoy basketball brand, Don Benito's, ang Pambansang Kasava, Nature Spring, #1 bottled water in the Philippines, Pound for Pound Fitness, Be Liga Ready, Jinky Skin, empowering women by redefining beauty, Pound Active, for quality sportswear.
Red Dynasty, offering comfort Chinese food and overall 5-star experience. Winford Resort and Casino Manila, a luxury integrated resort.
Wing Bowl, it's like coming home. Chris Jacob Collection, for affordable but quality daily perfumes.
Special thanks to Punong Barangay Danilo Villanueva of Barangay Escopa 3 for hosting today's game.
taas noo kahit kanino, walang ibang sinisigaw ang masang Pilipino. Bumagsak, bumangon, hinarap ang mga hamon, hanggang ang kahirapan tuluyan nating matalo.